Hello, my name is Meagan Loyst. I am 25 years old. I'm the founder of Gen Z VCs, which is a global community and social movement around empowering the next generation of investors, founders, operators, and students, essentially the next generation of leaders in our industry. And I'm very excited to be talking today. I'm a full-time investor at a fund called Lyra Hippo here in New York, so I focus on early stage investing. My side hustle is being the founder and effectively CEO of this community and movement that I run called Gen Z VCs, and I'm a Gen Z expert and influencer, and so I oftentimes help to dispel, you know, issues around Gen Z and opportunities as well for Fortune 500 brands, companies that are thinking about the next generation, as well as startups. The reason I started the community, at first it was largely around actually sort of loneliness. I was the youngest person at my fund by a factor of a decade and very new to the job. I started the community during the COVID-19 pandemic. And so I was living at home with my parents, and I didn't really have other people that I could bounce ideas off of, share deal flow with, etc. And so the community was actually born out of that. I started tweeting on Twitter, essentially sourced 71 young investors from all over the world who were just like me, new to the jobs, new to their industries, but had really unique insights on Gen Z and the areas that we were investing in. And so I wrote an article where I coined the term Gen Z VCs, highlighted the top trends that we were following, like the creator economy and fintech, etc., and started the community on the back heels of that. And so what initially started as a Slack group for 30 of my friends that I met through this article has now turned into a global community of 17,000 plus Gen Z investors, founders, operators, and students all over the world, and now a much larger movement around empowering Gen Z. And so, at the end of the day, one of the most important things about Gen Z VCs and the work that I do there with the community is empowering Gen Z to lean into their strengths and understand that your age is actually an asset versus a liability. When you think about the investor world, venture capital, there's such an index towards years of experience, years of founding experience, years of operating experience as your way to help founders. And increasingly what's becoming more important in, today and in the next decade is that the pace of technology is changing so quickly that young people actually have a really strong advantage around the table in helping think about the voice of the customer, because we are the customer, thinking about go to market, how to build community, how to effectively market on TikTok, all of these things. And so the work of Gen Z VCs and what we do, it's to show what's possible as young investors and serve as role models for the next generation of leaders, but also to effectively change that narrative around young people in this industry and show that we do have a place, we do and can add value to the founders that we partner with. When you think about Gen Z and some of the cornerstone parts of our generation, we're very entrepreneurial. We want to be creative. We don't want to be put in a box, and working in venture, and also we care about impact in a very profound way. Venture capital especially lends really well to all of those things, because naturally you're working hand in hand with the founders who are building legendary companies for us, for our generation, for our children's generation. And so you can't argue the sort of impact that you have on helping to build these incredible companies that are impacting your day-to-day life. There's that. Creativity does play a really big role. So for example, I am a full-time investor, but I also consider myself to be a creator. Tweeting and writing and having these sort of creative outlets is a really important part of my job, where I can not only source deals, but be a resource for my portfolio companies that can leverage my voice as a creator to help hire new people, to put their message out into the world and help amplify the work that they're doing. So, for example, me as a Gen Z investor, I'm also a creator. I'm a LinkedIn top voice. I was Forbes 30 under 30 this year, and I now have nearly 40,000 followers on Twitter. That is an asset to my portfolio companies and lends really well to my work as a creator. You're going to see more and more young investors lean into that, wanting to become creators, have that being a part of their day-to-day jobs, and also just understanding that 70+% of Gen Zers today have a side hustle. This is the future of work, understanding and valuing that your employees, whoever they are, have a life outside of work, that it helps them become a more holistic individual and be better during their 9 to 5, during their day job, if they're able to sort of pursue their passions both in and outside of work. And so that's going to continue to become important. And when it comes to this entrepreneurial spirit, of course, we're working with founders every day, but I do think over time you're going to see a lot more young people wanting to start funds and take that impact to the next level. And so I think we're going to see that become a trend over the next decade as well. Well, I think first and foremost, Gen Z VCs started as a digital community, and now, of course, we've done in-person events in New York, London, San Francisco, Los Angeles. We have a big one coming up in Chicago in October. We are all Gen Z. We are naturally the first digitally native generation. We are connected by technology in an entirely different way. And also, I think when it comes to digital communities, they're centered around some type of affiliation, right? So for Gen Z VCs, it is young people that have an interest in investing, in entrepreneurship, in innovation, in technology that unites us all. And Gen Z VCs is not only a community, but it's a part of our identity, right? Like, I am a Gen Z VC. I have this Gen Z VC Queen water bottle that was made for me and given to me as a gift. It is, being a part of this community is a part of my identity. And I think for young people, that sort of shared sense of community and of identity and shared interests is really, really important. Especially when, again, many of us have entered our early 20s or our late teens during a global pandemic where online community and that shared sense of interest and affiliation was even more important because we didn't have that in-person interaction that, other generations have, for example. And so this is the new norm. This is the future of work. Many young people entered the workplace in a digital world where that became the norm and the standard. And so to expect Gen Zers who've only been used to working and learning remotely to go into a full 5-day work week only to be on Zoom all day, that's, it's really hard for young people to grasp and wrap their head around. And so on that front, technology and sort of digital community becomes a really important part of our lives personally and also professionally. And also it's affecting sort of how companies are being built and how we're adding value. You can't ignore the impact of TikTok, right? TikTok is being driven by Gen Z. It's also how new companies are being launched every single day. That is our value add as investors. I spend 15 to 20 hours a week on TikTok as a consumer. I know what's trending. I know how to think about, speaking Gen Z's language in that effect, how to think about using and leveraging the comment section. I'm running around Washington Square Park with my portfolio companies to help them get millions of views on TikTok. That is my job as an investor. That is my advantage as a Gen Zer. And so we are very, very in tune with like the day-to-day cultural trends that quite literally pass and go with every waking moment. And that is how we're able to really help our portfolio companies in that way. Well, naturally, again, there are certain industries where, we are very, very primed to be able to help portfolio companies and, the next generation of leaders because we're living it in real time. I think leveraging TikTok, for example, and thinking creatively about building community, leveraging go-to-market in this world is really, that's an advantage for Gen Zers and for young people. Another area, for example, is new areas which are being developed in real time, like Web3 and crypto. Like people, when you think about Web3 and gaining Web3 experience, we're learning that at the same time as millennials and Gen X and boomers. We're all on an equal playing field in some level. And so when you think about young people in areas that we can like really naturally sort of add value and bring a unique perspective, we're learning at the same pace as other generations, and we're able to, I think, get up to speed very quickly and also add expertise and develop expertise as young people. And so, I think that's a really interesting area where young people have a sort of natural advantage, an opportunity to build a voice, build a presence, and usher, billions of people into this new ecosystem. We lived through Web 1.0, Web 2.0, Web 3.0 is for the taking. And Gen Z is really, especially in the investor world, taking and playing a material role in helping those founders picking and choosing the companies that are being funded every day. And so that's a really interesting area for sure. To cap it off, definitely want to encourage everyone who's tuning in here to check out the upcoming Network Readiness Index launch and hear more about all of the topics of youth and digital transformation that others will be covering today and in the future. So thanks so much for having me, for hearing my thoughts and my voice. Again, I'm Meagan Loyst. Follow me on Twitter at MEaganLoyst, Meagan Loyst, and look forward to being a voice on this generation and many to come in the years moving forward. Thank you so much.